Alright, so this video is going to illustrate how to do a mediation analysis according to Barron and Kinney. So, from class, basically what we had was we were looking at stressful life events, mental health symptoms, physical health symptoms, and visits to health professionals, I believe. Or those variables minus this physical health symptoms. So originally we thought perhaps that mental health symptoms predicted visits to health professionals, and that makes sense. But then what could happen is you could have this other variable, which would be stressful life events, which is mediating the relationship between mental health symptoms and visits to health professionals. So the proper way to do this is a series of regression analyses. So all you need to do, and this is assuming you've done the proper data cleaning and you've met the assumptions and everything's fine, you're going to click Analyze, Regression, Linear. Visits to health professionals is the criterion. And then you have to make sure that there's a relationship first. So mental health symptoms, visits to health professionals, okay. And it looks like we have met that first assumption. So the path is statistically significant, and then we have something we actually might want to examine. So we click on Analyze again, Regression, Linear. Next, we need to make sure that the predictor and the hypothesized mediator are related. So we're going to leave mental health symptoms here, which is the predictor, and the mediator is going to be stressful life events. Now I know that if you're thinking about the temporal sequence of things, how they might occur in the real world, stressful life events are probably going to occur before mental health symptoms. And here we have it more as a result rather than a cause. And that's perfectly fine for the regression analysis to have it this way, because really all we're testing is the link between these two. So even though stressful life events probably occurs before mental health symptoms, this is the proper way to do it right here. So we're going to click OK. And again, we have a statistically significant relationship, which is great because that means that the predictor and the hypothesized mediator are linked. We also know that the predictor and the criterion are linked. The next thing to do is to look at the relationship between the mediator, or the hypothesized mediator, and the criterion. So Analyze, Regression, Linear. So we're going to bring over stressful life events as a predictor, and then visits to health professionals as a criterion. Okay, and again, we are good. So the last step is to look at the relationship between stressful life events combined with mental health symptoms in one model and see how well they predict our dependent variable, or our criterion, which is visits to health professionals. So Analyze, Regression, Linear. We're going to leave in stressful life events, and then we're going to look at mental health symptoms as well. So what this is doing is looking at unique contribution. So what we want to know is, does this predictive ability right here for mental health symptoms decrease when we include it with stressful life events? How much overlap is there between these two in explaining visits to health professionals? So we'll click OK. And what we're looking for is whether or not this is statistically significant, and it is. Mental health symptoms remains statistically significant. So we know it's not full mediation, but then we look at standardized regression coefficients, beta here, so 0.173, and we're comparing that to our original analysis, which is up here. So alone, it was 0.256. So 0.256 by itself, statistically significant. And when we included stressful life events, it stayed statistically significant, but it just reduced. So what that means is that you have partial mediation. In common language, you would say that stressful life events partially mediates the relationship between mental health symptoms and visits to health professionals.